On CBS and the pressure on the shoulder of Josh Allen, trying to get the Bills to a Super Bowl and finally win it. Some of his contemporaries bowing out early in this one. Instead, staring down the Jacksonville Jaguars and Trevor Lawrence. Red hot right now. Winners in 8 straight coming in. We pick it up mid-second quarter. Going for it on 4th and 2 at the 9. Trevor Lawrence, the shin down, stopped short after review. Turnover on downs, and the Bills try and capitalize. Allen doing it himself, and you can copy and paste that more than a time or two on this day.
Goodness.
Thankfully.
First, he was into the medical tent with a possible concussion. He's been dealing with an ankle injury, and there, the knee gets caught straight up and down on the touchdown. Allen, just a warrior, stays in the game. Teams would trade field goals in the third. In the early fourth quarter, Lawrence hits Parker Washington, and we were really just getting started. 17-13 Jags. Ensuing Bills drive. Allen hits Dalton Kincaid on the little bubble smoke. Bills lead it 20-17. Now Buffalo not going down without a fight. Allen and his cast, plenty enough. Ensuing Jags drive straight the other way. Travis Etienne had himself a day. Back and forth we go. The third lead change of the fourth quarter. Coach McDermott, can you go do it again here, Josh?
You know it.
Yeah, he can. 25 career game-winning drives, none in the playoffs. Spots something in the coverage and just gives a chance to Brandon Cooks. Cooks comes up with it. Gain downfield of 36 yards later in the drive. Trying to just get the sticks on 4th and inches. They get more than that. He's in the end zone, but wait. Stopped short of the goal line. The Bills now just a yard away from retaking the lead. A 4th lead change of the fourth quarter matches a playoff record. Lawrence back with the ball and a minute to go. This is where we write legacy, folks. Very first play of the drive, targeting the middle of the field, tipped and picked. Cole Bishop.
Great play by Trey White. LSU alum, right?
Trey White getting a hand on it. Jacoby Myers, the intended receiver. Cole Bishop, the beneficiary. And with that, the Bills win it 27-24. Their first playoff road victory since 1992. Had lost their previous 8. So Josh Allen and the Bills get on the board for the first time in his tenure on the road. And that's what they'll have to do as they come out of the wild card, take down a divisional champ, and play on. Here to break it all down, say hello to CBS lead NFL insider Jonathan Jones, the 2-time Super Bowl champ Bryant McFadden, and the future gold jacket Patrick Peterson. Fellas, this was a good game. This was a very good game. This was one that, in the midst of it, before that fourth quarter broke out, you were kind of wondering who's going to make the play. And I almost feel wild to wonder that because, Jonathan Jones, it is always Josh Allen making that play. What do you make of his performance?
Yeah, it was a great performance by Josh Allen. And I certainly don't want to take anything away from him. I think that we have gotten so used to Josh Allen and how great that he is and how valuable he is to this team that a day where he throws for less than 300 yards and just has 1 passing touchdown, you're like, okay, nice game, right? But, you know, what's really fascinating to me in this game was the Jacksonville Jaguars, certainly if you're just looking at the box score, they did enough to win this game. They had 6.5 yards per play. They only had 2 penalties. They were 56% on third down. You know, yes, they lost the turnover battle 2-1, but it was the consistent play from the Buffalo Bills, led by Josh Allen, that allowed the Buffalo Bills to win this game, because otherwise it seemed like Jacksonville was doing all the right things necessary to win this game, but they didn't have Josh Allen.
And you talk about not having Josh Allen. Josh Allen was smart with the football. He never put the football in harm's way. In terms of playoff moments, if you want to continue to live in playoff football, you have to protect the football. That was the deciding factor, in my opinion. When you look at Trevor Lawrence, guys, Trevor Lawrence played a really, really good game, except 2 plays. 2 costly turnovers, right? Especially that final drive where you need probably an extra 20 or 25 yards for your field goal kicker to maybe attempt a makeable field goal with the leg that he has. So playoff football, you have to be smart with the football. Another thing I'd like to highlight, guys, when you look at the 3 playoff games that we've all watched, we all enjoyed, what's the one common denominator associated with all 3 of those games?
Wild fourth quarters.
Wild fourth quarters, and every game that we've watched so far in playoff football came down to 1 possession. Points are at a premium in NFL playoff moments. In the first half, it's 4th and 2. You're inside the 10. I think outside the 10, regardless, it's 4th and 2. It's a makeable field goal. Lim Cohen decided to go for it. And I understand in terms of analytics, it tells you that's a go-for-it situation. But if you look at playoff football, and what I said yesterday, coaches cannot coach playoff football like they coach regular season football because there's no tomorrow. If you take that 3, you're up 10-3 at that time. Who knows how the game would have played? Because if you look at the final score, they lost by 3.
And Cam missed the field goal.
And he missed the field goal. So I understand when we all watch the game together, and I know our viewers are doing the same thing. Go for it. Yes. But you have to understand, if you don't get it, you're playing against an offense and quarterbacks that will make you pay.
Sometimes conservative is the best aggression, I think is what you're saying here. When you can get those points early in a playoff game, you take those points because you're not going to be able to survive it.
We watched 3 great games. Every game has come down to the same situation. It's been a playoff. It's been a one possession.
And not
That's
just
why points are at a premium.
And not just that, B-Mac. They got that ball off of a turnover.
Yes.
Right? So that was a free possession, if you will,
were not supposed to have.
for the Jacksonville Jaguars. It's 4th and 2. There's no doubt that the analytics, I don't have to have Liam Cohen's play sheet to know that it absolutely said go. And I will be hand up. I said go for it. And B-Mac was like, take the points. And, of course, Trevor Lawrence's shin goes down right there. But what did the Buffalo Bills do?
Went 90-plus yards.
Right down the field and got 7.
And that's what I was going to say. I was going to lean on the Jacksonville Jaguars defense.
Yeah.
The plays that they gave up. The secondary had poor eyes the entire second half, giving up deep plays down the field to Cook. Shakir had a nice play up the sideline. So the eyes, and we talk about playoff football. The number one thing in playoff football is preparation, making sure that you're in the right place at the right time, and they had some downfalls in the second.
To your point, Trevor Lawrence drives the field twice in the fourth quarter, gives you 14 points in the fourth quarter. I think in terms of is bad Trevor back, a question that lingered early after that interception where he maybe wasn't seeing the field, and what he gave you in the midst of that game, it built a lot of confidence. But, Pat, I want to take you to that last throw of the game by Trevor Lawrence. What did you see in the coverage and the way that the Bills were able to make a play off a guy that you feel like still just might give you one when you want
it? It just seemed like the Buffalo Bills in a two-man sort of Trey White playing underneath the receiver, forcing Trevor Lawrence to put the ball in a tough window, and that he wasn't able to do. Trey White was able to get his hands on it, pretty much getting an interception to seal the game. But for the most part, looking at the game, Trevor was kind of having ebbs and flows throughout that ball game. He was kind of throwing the ball. We saw a lot of wobbly ducks out there floating around.
At least 3.
Yeah, we saw him misthrow, overthrow a couple receivers, threw a couple balls in the dirt. So today, passing, it wasn't his best performance.
And I'll say this because we just brought up Trey White. I want to give a shout out to Trey White, who is going to be 31 years old this week, who tore his ACL a couple of years ago, tore his Achilles as well, and was pretty much left for dead in the NFL. He comes back to Buffalo because you can always go home, and he was struggling at the start of this season. But he winds up being a starter in a playoff game. He breaks up a pass in the third quarter that could have been a touchdown for the Jacksonville Jaguars, and then there at the end making a great play on the ball that winds up being the game-sealing interception.
All right, Mac, I am done asking this dais whether or not Josh Allen can be enough, because he continues to be enough for the Buffalo Bills with this supporting cast. I do, however, want to ask you if they are asking too much of Josh Allen's body. Do you at all worry about the toll that he has taken throughout the season and more of a toll that we saw over this 60 minutes?
Yes, I'm worried, I'm concerned, but he has to do this.
He has to.
He has to. They have no other choice but to lean on Josh Allen, on his arm, on his legs, because this is the roster they assembled, and because of injuries, it's put more pressure on Josh Allen. Heck, they lost Gabe Davis today, and we don't know his status, but it didn't look good.
Doesn't look like he's going to be playing the rest of the playoffs.
Exactly, JJ. So yes, they have to, and Josh has to deliver. And I said, last week as we got ready for the playoffs, when we knew exactly what the picture was going to look like, and we knew Josh was going to Jacksonville, said no excuses. No one cares about the labor pains. You got to deliver the baby.
Yep.
And guess what? It was a painful situation in moments, but he delivered. Now it's about the next test. So this was a very, very important game, not just for Josh Allen, but for the Buffalo Bills as an organization, because they had issues in playoff road appearances. They kind of got that monkey off their back. Now it's about the next test, because from here on out, they will have to travel. They won't have any more home games, so they got to continue to go on the road, and it will get more difficult. But today, they were the better team, and their outstanding MVP quarterback played like an MVP.
That he did. This was a gut-wrenching game for the Buffalo Bills and Josh Allen, because he had to put his cape on despite the injuries that he was dealing with. We already know the receiver situation, not really having a go-to guy. But my concern with them moving forward is going to be the defense. Are they going to be able to stop the run? Are they going to be able to get off the field and get those timely stops like they got in this game? But we don't know who they're going to be playing in the next round, but for the most part, they're going to have to stop the run and have to get James Cook rolling a little bit better to take some pressure off Josh Allen.
And they're not going to be facing a rush defense like the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yeah.
This was the best rush defense they'll probably play. Still, the Jacksonville Jaguars, through 18 games this year, never allowed a rusher to have more than 75 yards on the ground. Forget about a 100-yard rusher, and that continued on today. The thing that I'll say about Josh Allen, to answer your question, Joe, is that this is not sustainable. He is 29. He'll be 30 this offseason. His body can't keep this up. They can't think that they're going to compete for Lombardis moving forward with him doing what he has to do right now. But in the future, doesn't matter. This is about the right now. There is no one that's going to be walking through the door. They're going out there with Brandon Cooks as probably their top receiver, who's a guy who wasn't on the team at Halloween. They are going out and hoping that James Cook is going to be able to stay healthy. This is their offense. They may not have Keon Coleman next year because that'll be a decision that they make. But they got to play Keon Coleman right now.
They have to.
They only got 4 receivers on the roster.
Gabe Davis probably isn't coming back, right? And so all of those things, Josh Allen is going to have